Hello there, and welcome back. I am just about out of bacon grease, so I need to remedy that. That's what we're going to do. I've got some bacon here that I picked up the last time I was at the store, specifically for the grease. I got the fattiest bacon I could find. There's hardly any meat on it, which is going to be perfect for what I'm using it for. And show you how to do it. One of the bonuses of this is if you get a little meatier bacon, this is a good way to also make bacon bits. It's the way I've been doing it for a long time for salads or toppings or whatever you want to do with it. So all I'm doing here is I'm going to make little cuts that are about, I don't know, say a centimeter long, all the way down the pork loin. If this was a little bit fattier, if I remember correctly, they would call this pork lardons, and they would be crispy on the outside but still kind of soft in the middle, but that is not what we are going for today. Alright, now that I have my pork cut into these little strips, all I'm going to do is kind of pinch them in between my fingers and try and pull them apart just a little bit so that when I cook them they don't like hug each other and kind of prevent the fat from rendering, which is my ultimate goal out of this whole thing. Now that we've got our pork or our bacon just kind of ready to go, we got a nice little pile. It's pretty loose. I'm gonna let this sit here and get a little bit warmer, not like room temperature warm, but a little bit warmer, so that when it goes in the pan it has an easier time. It doesn't start to try and just like cook immediately. We're gonna go over and get our pan started and just leave this here for a minute. Now we're ready to get our pan ready for the bacon. I'm going to turn it to kind of a medium-low heat. The pan's starting to get warm, so now we'll add our bacon to it and let it kind of slowly come up to heat. And then what we want to do is just kind of make sure that everything's fairly well dispersed in the pan there. This part's going to take a fair bit of patience. It's going to take like a half hour or so to do this. So if you're crunched for time, maybe not the best. The grease is starting to render now. And I can see because some of the bacon on the bottom is getting just a little bit translucent. I'm just going to give it a nice little stir. Try and make sure that all of them get a little bit of the love off the bottom of the pan. Now it's just a waiting game really. To hurry up and wait. I've got some good moisture on the bottom of the pan, so I'm going to turn the heat up just a smidge and help cook some of that water and everything off so that all I have left is bacon grease. The bacon has a nice hiss on the bacon grease. You can hear it just kind of hissing at you, and it's getting a little bit of a foam on top, and it's about to start popping. Once that happens, I'm going to turn it down about a medium-low and continue cooking until all the bacon is a nice golden brown and ready to go. So, my bacon bits are getting pretty well brown. I got lucky and it didn't start popping and yelling at me. So I'm going to turn the heat off and get everything ready, and I'll see you on the other side. Alright, so for this next part, all you're going to need is a nice mixing bowl, a fine mesh strainer, because I'm trying to get as little particulate into the grease as I can help, a plate with some paper towels, a nice little funnel, and a container of your choosing. I prefer a mason jar, which is what I've always used. I've always had them around. So we're just going to take all of our bacon bits and that grease and dump it into that strainer. Being really careful because this is super hot. I'm going to give this just a little shake. Try and get off some of that excess grease. By tilting it, I'm going to be kind of tossing the bacon at the same time. So I've done that. I'm going to go ahead and set my grease aside. I'm going to get all those bacon bits out on the paper towel on the plate. Again, being careful because this is super hot. And then spread those out. Now, they're going to be a little soft right now, but as they cool down, they'll crisp up. If they're not crisp enough for you, next time you do it, let them go a little longer, and then these turn into perfect little bacon bits. Super tasty. Now I'm going to take the funnel, my jar, and trying to keep as much particulate, or like little pieces, in the dish as I can. I'm just going to dump the bacon grease into the jar very carefully because it's super hot. And then right before I get to all the sediment at the bottom of that, I'm going to stop. Then I'm just going to take a little bit of aluminum, press it on the lid, wrap it around the edges, and there you go. Give it overnight and it'll solidify and you'll have nice, delicious oil that you can use. Then you can take these tasty bacon bits, which are already starting to crisp up, just sprinkle them on whatever you want. If they're a little big, let them cool down all the way and just give them a little crush in your hands and it'll turn into like almost a powder. Put those in a container, put them in the fridge, salad on top of a potato, whatever you feel like using them for. I promise you they're going to be delicious. And as I like to say, if it's bad for the heart, it's good for the soul. Till next time.